Alright, welcome back, Vinyl Community, to my last video of 2014. I was going to make actually a video that was nicely edited and all that good stuff, but my computer decided at the very last minute to chew that file up, and it was corrupted, and so I didn't actually end up doing that over again because, I really didn't have time. So I just thought I'd, end the year with a note of, thank you to everybody who has watched, commented, subscribed this year. I think my subscribers doubled this year, which is crazy. And yeah, thank you to everybody watching for making my channel what it is today. And another thing, actually, the year was fantastic. I did a lot of personal accomplishments. Probably my biggest was getting out of community college and heading over to four-year university, which is really big for me. I'm really happy and privileged to be there finally. And on a music-related note, just getting a lot of albums that were big ones on my want list, like the Over trilogy and Morbid Saints, Spectrum of Death, and what else did I get? Let's see here. Death, Spiritual Healing was a pretty big one. Yeah, just loads and loads of albums, this year that I actually ended up getting. And yeah, I'm happy, I'm grateful, and I'm gonna make 2015 just as good or even a better year than 2014 was. Anyways, so getting into the very last record I'm going to show you for 2014. It is by a group known as Pink Floyd, which I'm sure everybody in the vinyl community knows and loves. Now for me, Pink Floyd has been a group that I've really struggled to get into, which may surprise a lot of you watching, but the fact of the matter is that I've always been extremely picky with progressive rock bands of any kind, even like subgenres of death metal that include progressive death metal or whatever the hell. Like I really struggle with progressive music. That being said, Pink Floyd, one of the biggest progressive rock bands, I've always been really heavily picky on. I discovered them about a decade ago when I was a freshman in high school, and back then, I was really interested in faster, heavier, more evil sounding metal, heavy metal. I was really into metal at that time. It was the new genre that I got into after discovering Black Sabbath and Metallica and Slayer and all that good stuff. And so in high school, Pink Floyd just sort of seemed like a big old regression from that. And so I really wasn't all that interested in them in high school. And then after high school ended, their albums just didn't click with me. Like, it took me so long to even get into their most popular album, Dark Side of the Moon. I don't know what to say about that. And really, even when that clicked with me, I really didn't even consider myself a Pink Floyd fan, because I sort of wanted to click with something other than their most popular album. And about a year, maybe this year or last year, in 2013, I'm not sure, I saw this artwork and I didn't even know it was Pink Floyd at the time. It didn't have their name nor the album title on it, and so I was like, oh. But the artwork really captured me. Like, I was like, I really want to check that album out. And I came to find out that it was a Pink Floyd album. And I didn't actually check it out. I was like, I'm just gonna buy it on vinyl, and I'm just gonna see what that sounds like. And you guys know, or those of you who know me on here, know that I'm not really big into blind buying records. Like, I've never really been big into that. Because I have such shitty luck with it. I end up having to sell off the record later. And but with this one, I was like, what? I'm just gonna make a big. Sorry, that was my phone. I'm just gonna make a big fat exception with this album, and I'm gonna buy it on vinyl. But at the time, there wasn't actually a vinyl pressing that I wanted, because this album has never been released in its full format on vinyl, and it's an album that really also divides Pink Floyd fans, if you will. And I picked this one up, and here it is. This is Pink Floyd, The Division Bell, from 1994. And yeah, I listened to it for the first time yesterday. And let me tell you, I was definitely not disappointed. I actually spun this, I think, like 4 times yesterday. I was really that into it. Go ahead and take it out of the bag here. It's kind of like a mobile Fidelity Sound Lab bag, if you guys are familiar with that company. It's kind of like that. Nice thick bag there. Nice and glossy gatefold that we got going on here. From what I understand, you know, it's, I think, the first time that it's ever been released in its full format, because when it was a single LP, it was edited versions, you know, so it could fit on the LP. And but I think there are bootlegs from the 90s that do have it in full format. But then again, this one is still more special than those, because this was actually pressed using the original analog masters, which I'm really happy that it was pressed that way, because, you know, then it really wouldn't make it all that different from the bootlegs from the 90s that, you know, use the CD version. So I'm really glad that they did do that for this album. Another thing I will say is I've never been disappointed by a reissue by its lack of words, if you guys get what I'm saying. Usually the problem with reissues is that they don't have, you know, printed inner sleeves or gatefolds or any, like, you know, sort of visual presentation of the reissue. But in this case, what's lacking here is not the pictures, but rather the lack of words. Like, there's nothing freaking written on this reissue almost anywhere. There's not even a track listing on the jacket. Like, that's how little is said on this reissue. I don't know. They did really interesting packaging on this one, definitely. It does a really good job, though, of showing off this artwork that I know and love so much, which, in my opinion, is the best cover that Pink Floyd has ever done. I'll show you the printed inner sleeves. Here's printed inner sleeve number 1. And here's the back. And you guys will probably guess what's on inner sleeve number 2. Yeah. So yeah, as I said, nothing written on it. Just that really cool picture that I love. And also, it comes with a download, which actually is useful to me because I do not own this album on CD or digital format, so that was actually helpful to have. The labels are pretty cool. This one is kind of like a green and red combo. And the only place that the song titles are written on is side B. So that's the only place those are at. And side C with a cool blue and green combo label. So yeah, really cool. I think, you know, the packaging isn't terrible in this one. It's not the best, but it's definitely not terrible. And I gotta tell you guys, this thing sounds really fantastic. It's got that really nice new record smell to it, but it sounds like a record from, you know, the old days. It has a really nice warm analog sound to it, so I'm really happy about that. And I really like the glossiness of the jacket as well. That's really cool. And, you know, being a new listener to the Division Bell and, you know, really diving into the other Pink Floyd albums that aren't Dark Side of the Moon, I was really impressed by this, you know, like I said. And, you know, I'm really happy, you know, to get into Pink Floyd, because I really don't feel that I ever, you know, never wanted to get into Pink Floyd's music. It wasn't that I didn't want to, it's just that something about them, it just took me a really long time to get into them. I don't know what to, you know, say about that, but that really was the case. And but, you know, I'm really happy to start my Pink Floyd collection. I'd be really interested to have, you know, albums like Animals and The Wall and even Dark Side of the Moon. I don't even own that on any format, Dark Side of the Moon. I really like to own other Pink Floyd albums on vinyl, but when I would come across them in the record stores, they always seem to be really beat to hell, and I'm only interested in having like early presses of them, you know, to get that analog sound out of them. And so I never really find them in the format that I want or in the condition that I want. And so yeah, if any of you have like, you know, extra copies that, you know, you can sell off to me, I'd be more than happy to buy them, because I really want to, you know, get more into my Pink Floyd collection. So yeah, Pink Floyd, The Division Bell. I do highly recommend this pressing of it, as it does have the full version of the album, unlike the original presses that only have edited versions. But yeah, that is going to be my final video for 2014. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys have a safe and happy new year. And I will catch you all next year. Goodbye.